Last year, after the democratic elections which saw Mohammed Morsi's party, the Muslim Brotherhood, come to power, the message beamed to countries across the globe was that of progress after years of tyrannical rule by Hosni Mubarak. The fall of the Mubarak regime gave an inclination that Egypt was on the verge of seeking greater political freedom and that the days of civil unrest were over. Yet this was not to be the case, as the Muslim Brotherhood, who were the legitimately democratic government, were ousted by the totalitarian and powerful military, acting apparently in the best interests of the citizenry. The military regime and the people whom were willing for the military to engage in ousting Morsi gave reasons, for example, that the government was failing to tackle the economic problems and that they had not done much to improve political emancipation. However, this was despite his party only having been in power for just a year. The support for military generals was strong among some people who saw them as protectors, having extra constitutional rights to intervene when there was the possibility for national crises. It was merely some people that were frustrated at the situation in Egypt and not an overwhelming majority. Yes, there had been sizable demonstrations in cities across Egypt, but it should have occurred to those doing the ousting that maybe a vote of no confidence would have had the legitimacy to remove the tyrannical government. Especially in this particular case, a vote of no confidence against a seemingly flailing government would have served the people of Egypt well, who would then have had the potential elections to decide a new government if it was established that the Morsi government was indeed incapable of running the country. Yet such principles, which are imperative to the functioning of a healthy democratic society, were not taken. The generals took it upon themselves to remove the Muslim Brotherhood from power and go against the wishes of the people who had voted in the previous election. The injustice against the Muslim Brotherhood had not stopped there. The military engaged in an all-out offensive against its supporters, having shot 40 or more people outside an army barracks in Cairo, where Morsi's supporters had gathered. No such treatment has yet to be reported against other opposition and anti-Morsi protesters in Egypt. This example shows clearly the army's more sinister objectives of both suppressing the support Mohammed Morsi holds in Egypt and furthering their own agendas. If indeed the army was acting in the best interests of the people, then resorting to violence against the supporters of the previous government was not justified at all. Rather, the question was why such a move was sought. It may have served Mohammed Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood had they called upon their people to also take up arms against the military, yet no such action was taken. This clearly demonstrated the Muslim Brotherhood's intention to adhere to democracy. The future for Egypt now remains unpredictable as ever, and the possibility of a civil war breaking out between pro and anti-Morsi protesters seems likely. This is due to the injustices felt not only by the opposition, but also by Morsi supporters in their treatment by the military. The military has promised a return to democracy and future elections are expected soon. Yet the question that remains is, what will the military do if another Muslim Brotherhood candidate wins the next election? Will the Muslim Brotherhood be even allowed to contest for the presidency? We will have to wait and see.